So, hi, I'm Steve Hassan. I'm a mental health professional and cult expert. I've been helping people for over 40 years, and I'm very grateful to attorney Frank Cocozzelli to spend a few minutes with me, Frank, to get your ideas on video about the fact that you're a Catholic, you're an attorney, and you have some concerns about Amy Coney Barrett's nomination to the Supreme Court. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so tell us what you think we need to know from your point of view, because right now what I'm reading is Michael Pence is framing this as people who are anti-Catholic are opposed to this nomination.
I think we got to take it out of the framework of that it's an anti-Catholic assault. Instead, we got to make that distinction right up front and say the issue is the possible authoritarian nature of people of praise. And if to say this is not a Catholic issue, that people of praise is an ecumenical group that has other Christian denomination members in it. And we're worried that if the wife has to be subservient to the husband, and it's a hierarchical structure. Because the husband, in turn, have to take orders from somebody. Now that leads to the next point. In fact, are they linked to some sort of other organization that has a, say, more economic agenda? For example, a lot of the people at Opus Dei are Federalist Society members, like Leonard Leo and what's the other, Patrick Long. And their real agenda, I believe, is more economic. And what they want to do is got the New Deal legislation. They came after 1937 West Coast Hotel. Um, Libertarians believe, for example, that with that court case, which legitimized the minimum wage, that's quote unquote when the Constitution went into exile. Basically, what I'm concerned about is there may be an overlapping agenda with people of praise. For example, with Opus Dei, something you and I are both familiar with, Bill Barr, for example, he's has some sort of connection to Opus Dei, a cooperator, whatever he is. But regardless of what it is, the issue is, are they possibly using people of praise to advance an economic agenda, a libertarian agenda? For example, a lot of the Opus Dei members are Federalist Society members, and they're intent on gutting all the New Deal legislation from West Coast Hotel, the 1937 case that legitimized the minimum wage. I'm sorry about that. They believe that with that case, the Constitution, quote unquote, went into exile, no more of an originalist view or interpretation of the Constitution. That's what we have now as the living, breathing Constitution, which is what I was taught in law school. We have to look there. There's a lot of unanswered questions with regard to people, with regards to people of praise, and I've been trying to make contact with some ex-members. And after I wrote my article in Daily Coast last week, I've gotten feedback from people, 2 or 3 people, who contacted me and told me to look here, that this is nasty. For example, one person contacted me and said, in South Bend, the chief prosecutor for the city is a member of People of Praise. And at University of Notre Dame has helped them a lot, especially in the law school. That to me is a red flag. If the people in the law school are helping People of Praise, and if we find out it's subject to connection, that they're involved with Federalist Society politics, there is at least an overlap there. I go on conspiracy theories, but I think there's a lot that's worth looking into. Also, some of the members told me that with People of Praise, on their website, they scrubbed all references to Judge Barrett, which is interesting.
Yes,
Uh,
the AP reported that, in fact, that the 40-year history of her husband and her had been scrubbed from the website.
these people also told me, two or three people told me that there's horror stories out there. People are like committing suicide after they leave, um, forced exorcisms, real bizarre stuff.
I've
This is
heard
by
about the forced exorcisms from two different people so far.
this is by no means mainstream Catholicism. This
Right,
isn't Catholicism practiced by even most conservative Catholics.
right.
By conservative Catholics, I don't mean Opus Dei or the fringe groups. I mean just people who happen to be politically conservative who go to mass. But by far, this is it. I've heard of some people, I met some people who are Catholics that cross pollinate with some of the more fundamentalist groups. This happens to be one of them, though, at least that's what I believe.
Right. Well, I was aware of the Manhattan Declaration, which
Right.
was a document bringing Catholics and Protestants
Evangelicals, yeah.
together, evangelicals, for political purposes to lobby against women's right to choose and gay marriage, I believe, and trying to get the religious framework to kind of break down the separation of church and state, is my recollection.
I think we have to frame it that this is nothing to do with Catholicism, but instead an authoritarian mindset of an organization that really may not have a religious agenda at its heart and soul.
Mm-hmm. And as an attorney, I'm going to let you go in a minute. I've been thinking about it as more of an undue influence frame versus an authoritarian frame, because if people are being asked to make a lifetime vow,
Yeah,
but they don't, but they never talk to Adrian Reimers, who is now a Notre Dame professor, who wrote 153 pages of why he left after 12 years, then are they having informed consent to
right.
understand?
That, by the way, you should be aware that all three of the people I've contacted with have all told me that they take control of the paycheck. In other words, as part of their membership, they
Ah,
have to tie the significant part of their salary over to the organization. That's very similar to what I heard with Opus Dei. My first cousin's wife told me that her brother almost became a member of Opus Dei, but that his wife put her foot down because they wanted to control his salary. He had to turn his check over, even though he was married.
yeah.
Opus Dei, that's just
Yeah, as you
crazy.
say, it sounds kind of undue influence
Yeah.
and controlling people and such. So I'm going to let you go right now, but we need more time
Right.
to gather former members and do the investigation.
That's what we need. And I need that. You said you have a publication of theirs. We get a hold of a publication.
The AP reporters told me that they were able to download all of their documents before they were scrubbed.
If we can get that, that would be really helpful.
Yeah.
I could write some pieces. I want to do a short piece within the next 5 days
Mm-hmm.
and put the framework out what kind of questions should be asked. And I think if I'm a Catholic, it's powerful coming from me because it shows that there's not an anti-Catholic bias at work here.
Yeah. And I'm friends with Kent Bertner, who is now married but was a priest for most of his adulthood, who's helped me with cult cases, and he is willing to weigh in also to say, as a Catholic who knows about cults, that this is looking problematic.
I'm also concerned with the religious freedom aspect of it. I wrote my piece because she said that abortion is always immoral. Well, I'm, I look at Catholicism a little differently. I believe that Jesus on earth is a living Jew. And obviously, he may have had, let's put it this way, I think there was a higher presumption that he would have had the Jewish view on abortion. In other words, if the mother's life is in danger,
Yep.
Saved the mother's life. He saved mother and a life and being. And in Orthodox Catholicism, if the mother's life is in danger, you save the baby, which, to me personally is not kosher, for
Mm.
lack of a better word.
Yeah.
So I'm concerned about Jewish folks who would have a mother's life in danger. And if she rules against the majority to move with the other open state members of the court, and the law of the land becomes, well, you can't have an abortion to save the life of the mother
Right.
or the rape baby. It's in question. That to me violates other people's fundamental religious right. And as a Catholic, Catholics in the past have dealt with prejudice against them. And when you do that, you're reaffirming all the past prejudices,
Right.
all the insinuations, and
Mm.
that's not good.
Right.
So,
Thank you so much. Go breathe, and please, we need you to be around for a really long time. So
thank you,
please
Steve.
take care, and we'll be in touch soon.
Yes, Steve. Good.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye.
bye.